From the United States of America, this is Political Analytical. I'm your host, Eddie Hill, along with Rick Warren and Gordon Park. Join us as we give our opinion concerning everything dealing with politics. We don't hold back, so prepare for a no-nonsense approach to the news, and no, we don't care about your feelings. Uncensored and no sugarcoating. Sit back and enjoy the ride.
Well, hey, Gordon.
Why do I feel like those chuckles were aimed at me?
Because they are.
Why?
Why? Political Analytical. I'm your host, Eddie Hill, along with Rick Warren, Gordon Park, and James Toops. And as soon as we get these screens set up and you can see all of us, we're going to be saying hello to everybody. There we go. So how you doing,
Hello,
gentlemen?
there it is. What's up, guys?
What's going on, gentlemen?
Well, I have to say, I'm pissed. I'm majorly pissed. After looking at all the corruption right now with the Democratic Party and all this voter fraud crap that they've got going on, I mean, it's just, it really sets the tone for such a corrupt government and a swamp that's in serious need of drain. What's your thoughts on this, Rick? We were hoping you were going to pop in last night and say hi, but we understand how it was going over there at that other watch party you were at. But now's as good a time as any to jump in there, tell us what you learned last night and what's going on right now and what you think about what's happening.
Well, just to reiterate what was going on last night, I was like, and we were like, at that party when we got there, everybody was congenial, having a good time, talking about the possibilities, where he needed to be strong, what states he needed to pick up. And as time went along, you could just see and you could feel the atmosphere in the house and outside, inside, all over change. Because we were realizing right in front of us, right in the middle of what we thought was going to be election USA, turned into election corrupted performances by everyone that was on the left. And this one guy said, well, Rick, you got to realize that in 2016, the Democrats got humiliated and they were not going to allow this to happen again. I said, yeah, I know. But I did not think it would be to the point of where we are sitting there second guessing our own electoral college votes from different states.
It's incredible, isn't it? Gordon, what's your take on everything that's happened since last night? I think Gordon is frozen. Oh, he fell off.
Gordon is froze. Uh-oh.
Okay, so let's go with James since we lost Gordon. What's your thoughts since last night?
So you're pissed off, and I am too, and I'm sure a lot of folks are. Are you surprised? That's the question.
No, surprised.
Did you expect anything less than a fight?
No, surprised. No, pissed.
Did you expect anything less than a fight? I'm with you. I'm pissed myself. But that being said, I'm not surprised, and it's going to be a fight, and all is not lost, by the way. A lot of folks think it's in the bag and it's lost, and that's not the case. Joe Biden right now looks like a 264 to 214 on the electoral vote count, but there's things going on right now. Giuliani, as they're suing several states.
Yes,
all is not lost. It's not lost yet, but it's hair on a gnat's ass close. Okay, it's It's a nail biter. It's an ass pincher, but yeah, pissed off, but not one bit.
Geez, Gordon, what's your thoughts on everything that's happened since last night?
Well, I want to take this opportunity to tell the Democratic Party that if they pull this off, this is the single greatest heist in American history. You didn't take money. You didn't take bribes. You stole our future. You stole time. Time that we could have used to get further into the country. Time that we could have used money that you're going to blow to do great things inside America with education, within our public infrastructure, on all kinds of things. So congratulations, you fucking thieves, for pulling off the greatest, possibly the greatest heist in the history of the world.
Yeah, it's just incredible. I mean, listening to everything that was going on and reading news stories, like this one here, where they were talking about over 500 ballots that were found in a box by somebody that was in there helping, that had not even been counted, none of them. And this is going on all over the place. Rick, what's your thoughts and what have you heard?
Basically, Eddie, they bastardized one of the most, and if not the greatest political systems that's ever been available to the American people. They took it and they used it and they raped it, and they're not done yet. That's what really is sickening, is that they are not done yet with what they have planned. I think we're just seeing the iceberg, tip of the iceberg, in the corruption of what's to come ahead as far as what's going to happen to our political system.
This thing right here played out exactly how they wanted it to. They used COVID as a catalyst on this thing right here. And anybody can say, oh yeah, sore loser, they cheated. Oh, now they're hollering they cheated. Wow, you guys are sore losers and this and this. No, the facts remain. There is cheating going on out there. There is a bunch of bullshit going on out there right now, and that's facts. If it wouldn't be, why else would Giuliani and all the entire presidential legal team go after these states and start suing states? There's things going on. I know. Facts, you can't just you can sue anybody you want without facts, whatever. I get that, but there's so much going on, so much corruption going on, and these guys, they're planned for it. Trump and all his folks have planned for this. That's why they're going and doing all this stuff right now. Indiana, look at no, not Indiana. Sorry about that, Rick. It was Arizona. So Arizona, they started this morning as, okay, so we're not going to count votes for the next week. What? You're not counting votes for another week? Why? What are you doing? Oh, and finally they, came off of it and said, okay, well, yeah, we'll go ahead and start counting votes, and this and that. So tonight we're supposed to be getting some time information and metrics. But Arizona, it blew my mind. They're like, yeah, we're just going to hold off a week and go fishing, maybe hit the strip club, something like that, snort some coke. I don't know what they're doing. But now they've come back and said, oh, well, maybe the American people do kind of want to know what the election results are. So we're going to go ahead and start, now, this and this. So we're going to get some real-time information here in a little bit. It should be around 9 o'clock. I think that was the lead time was 9 o'clock. So here in about 45 minutes, we'll know a few more things. We're not out of the running yet. We do have weeks to do, and looking at Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, we have to get Nevada, and we might flip Arizona. But this thing's not over. I mean, yeah, it's 264, to 214, and that looks really, really bad. But I'm a Saints fan. I know what it's like to come to the bottom of a freaking score. Okay,
All right.
Saints always do this shit. So
Real quick,
not too nervous.
Danielle says, what pisses me off is seeing so many Dems trying or saying Trump is just being a big baby and crying about losing. First of all, he's not crying. He's calling out bullshit. Second, if he loses fair and square and not by cheating, he'll take his loss and go. Absolutely. And that's what's pissing me off. Not the fact that he's losing, it's the fact of how he's losing. Then we have Barbie. He says, no different than what the Obamas did back when he was so-called elected. The Democratic Party has become nothing but criminals. Yeah, and believe me, freaking Obama was one of the biggest criminals there were. And she also says Hillary's campaign did all kinds of cheating, but it didn't work out for her when she ran against Trump the first time. Trish, she says, take on what happened with Wisconsin. Heard the votes were off. How many registered? Yeah, exactly, Trish. Apparently, there were way more votes than the amount of people that were registered in that state. And Barbie says, it's honestly criminal. Yes, it is. And Danielle, she says, Trish, yes, truth. So, yeah.
So I mean, there were a million, say there were a million people registered to vote, Trish. There were 1.2 million votes. So how does that happen? How do you get 1.2 million votes out of 1 million voters? You know, so that's when they called bullshit and they put a stop and they said, oh no, hold up, we're going to get a. And by the way, any president can request a if the percentage is if it's within 1%, and that's where it's at right now in Wisconsin. It's within 1%.
So it's going to be very interesting to see just how many, bullshit ballots are floating around that are being counted and shouldn't, as well as, as time goes on, how many ballots are going to be found on the side of the road or, smashed in a dog shit or something. Rick, you're sitting there thinking, I can see it in your face. What's going through your mind?
We talked about this, Eddie, over a month ago when we started dealing with this as far as on the mail-in ballot. We, as a group and as a show, we actually told everybody what was going to be happening. We actually said and predicted. I remember what Gordon said. I remember what you said, Eddie. And now it's almost like you guys were, I don't know, having cognitive awareness of something in the near future. But what has happened is that everything you said has come true about this mail-in ballot.
Yeah.
And that's where it comes in. That's the point right there. It's not the person that's at the voting booth. It's not the person driving around town looking for a place to vote. It's in the damn mail-in ballots.
Yep, exactly. And that's where a lot of this corruption is taking place. Gordon?
So I've been thinking about this all day long. And I listened to Rush and I listened to Hannity. And those guys are way smarter than I am. Way smarter than I am, right? But I know how to fix this process. They didn't seem to have a clue on how to fix the process, but I figured out how to fix this process. And it's threefold. Step number 1, you trash every ballot that has been cast in the trash. Everybody goes back to start. You do not collect go. You do not get $200. Go to move on to somebody else.
Okay. James, I'm going to go to you real quick, but first I'm going to read over here. Danielle says, I wonder how many dead people's votes were counted. Probably quite a few. And then Trish says, do you think with how many mail-in ballots it leaves room to, for lack of better words, fudge the numbers, possibly what happened with Wisconsin? James, go ahead and answer that.
Okay, so first of all, I think the mail-in ballot. First, let me back up. anything that is tried to be turned in past the election deadline should be null and void, should be bullshit. That's the reason you have a deadline, right? The 3rd is your deadline. If you expect to be late and send your ballot in to where it gets there on the 4th or the 5th, it should be gone. It should be cast out because there's a deadline for a purpose, because there's checks and balances on deadlines, right? Mail-in ballots. Here's just how I got it. Don't know and don't really care how anybody else feels about it. But if you have to mail in a ballot, meaning you can't get out of your house, you should have a handicap sticker on your car. If you can't get out of your house to go vote in person, your mail-in ballot should only be valid handicap plate in your car.
Hold on,
Okay.
just hold
I don't
that.
agree with mail-in ballots.
James, hold that thought real quick.
Go ahead.
Gentlemen, this is my cue. I must duck. But step 1, start everybody from scratch. Step 2, let everybody show up and vote again with a scanned docket and assign them, have the computer sign them a PIN number, 6-digit PIN number that's printed out and they take it with them. Number 3, you sequester every son of a bitch who's going to have their hands on anything to do with the ballot, and you keep them locked in a fucking room with representatives from both sides. If you voted, you have 48 hours to go in there and verify your PIN to your Secretary of the State's office. Say, this is my PIN number. This is how I voted. We do it with our income tax. Same fucking process. Then we don't have voter fraud.
Exactly.
I've got to bail. Y'all have a good evening. Eddie, if I need you, know that I'm going to be calling you.
Y'all, talk to you later. Adios, Gordon.
Yeah, no option. Just hang up and go.
He just left you there, Eddie,
Yeah.
hanging. I'll be damned.
Now,
I
real
need
quick,
you. I got to call you. Fuck you. I'm out. Bam.
before we get back into it, we're going to go over here. Don Harris says they won't let you in the door after they close, so should be the same for mail ballots. If they arrive after the deadline, no go. And Danielle says, or should be serving our country abroad. Or you should be serving our country abroad. Exactly. Barbie says, I think the states where the Democratic governors were in charge helped fudge the numbers. I wouldn't doubt it if they were in on all this. Jean Smith, she says, my license was scan and I had a scan number in Alabama. Well, that was pretty smart. Don says, every single liberal friend I have said they were doing mail in to prove it's fine and nothing to do with COVID. I don't know.
Here's the problem. Mail in anything paper or mail in that you have to do and you fill out and it goes to a third party to then get it in else's hands and get counted again or get counted and put in the system. I don't think that's the right way to go. You need to cut the middleman out. You personally bring your ass to that voting machine, hit your vote, and it's counted right then and there. That's how you're going to cut out this fraud shit. When you have a piece of paper that you hand somebody and you expect them to then do the right thing, that's a two-party system. That's two people interacting with one vote. That shouldn't be like that. Like I said, mail in, if you should, what's that?
Danielle said that they ran her driver license through a scanner and they did ID me when I went in, but I went in and I voted in person. And
I did too.
Don says, I don't agree with mail in, by the way. Yeah, I don't think any of us do, Don, because it's too easy for fraud.
Gentlemen, when we sat here 3 weeks ago, we were talking about a person I brought up to the point about Nancy Pelosi and what she had said in person about our military people, that if they were abroad and that they had mail-in ballots, they shouldn't be counted because they really weren't United States citizens at that time. And it just totally pisses me off that, she would have the audacity to even think about shaming or even trying to shame any of our military to begin with.
That's total BS.
And I really have to wonder if there's anybody militarily connected on our show tonight that can actually tell us what happened with the mail-in ballots that was coming from overseas? Did they make it on time, and if they were counted?
Well, Don says, I went in person for early voting with the mask I hate to wear. Yeah, and I don't wear it unless they make me. Trish said,
Yeah.
True that.
my brother filled his ballot out and brought it in and put it in the drop box. Said he didn't trust the system. Go figure, voted for Biden. Barbie says, unfortunately, mail in is way too easy to be compromised. Yes, it is. Danielle says, I like that our polls were electronic, can't throw it away. And that's what I did. I did electronic voting. They asked me if I wanted paper, electronic.
Mm-hmm.
I chose electronic because I didn't want anybody jacking.
Electronic.
Jean said,
Yep.
bull crap. Danielle, Trish, and she's like got her hand on her head, little thingamajig going on there. And Barbie said, I voted in person and I'm high risk for COVID. I wanted my vote counted honestly. Amen, Barbie. And she also says,
let me break.
So, I mean, there you have it. I mean, I think anybody with any common sense knows that anytime you do anything on paper, especially when you're doing a mail-in, anything can happen to it. Anything. Not only that, if nobody's being ID'd for that paper ballot, it's just letters showing up at the office from God only knows from where, from who. And there's no telling what happened to that ballot before it was even put in the envelope.
Let me ask you a question, guys. James, how would you feel about sending me $500 through the mail?
Cash.
Would you trash?
Oh,
Yeah, cash.
I wouldn't do it.
Cash. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Well, I mean, that is the stupidity of what we're looking at in the essence of what's going on with this mail-in ballot.
Let me put something into perspective right quick. I don't know how many people watch American Idol. I can't stand it. It gets on my nerves. But there's a lot of freaking people that watch American Idol. Okay. And it is this simple. If American Idol's voting system on one of their candidates is so more simplified than the American election process, we have a fucking problem. We have a serious problem.
Exactly.
If you can have 190 million people vote on American Idol for their favorite singer out of 4 candidates, have this much corruption going on in our electoral process on the phone through the internet, what the hell is going on? We have a serious problem. American Idol takes over our own election. When their system is better than ours, we have a serious problem.
Absolutely.
Just think about that for a second.
Rick, I'm going to turn it over to you real quick. I'm going to run and grab me a quick drink and I'll be right back.
Okay. Thank you, buddy. You know what, people? I'm just going to say this, okay? Because this, I thought about, I'm just like Gordon and James. I had a lot of time to think about what happened last night. I saw what happened last night. I remember when I walked in that church and we were going to vote. There was a 92-year-old man that wobbled his way up by us. And I had the honor of helping him go vote. The people in that church, the people that were with me, the people around me were proud of the fact that they were able to vote. There was a unity in that room. There was a unity with the people that was helping us get things set up as far as being able to vote. Last night, I saw that destroyed. Last night, I saw country even divided further by the complicit act of a Congress, the complicit acts of a House, and the complicit acts of the people that sat there and really didn't give a damn that this was an election. Because just like I said, they bastardized our election. They sat there and took everything that we hold dear, James, dear to our hearts as U.S. citizens, and sat there and slapped it and kicked it right back in our face. And I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know if we can recover, because I know that a lot of people have lost faith in our system now. And I'm one of them.
Well,
I'm one of them.
that's another
you know.
problem. So you had people that were drug out of the woodworks to vote for this election, right? So when the next election comes around, who's going to say, "Oh, well, you know what, man? Look at what the shit show it was last election in 2020. I'm not going out there and vote again." And the other part of that is lose Texas to the Dems. We can forget about ever having another Republican president in the White House. Period. We scrape by on this, but it's not looking good at all. And I mean, think about a post-Biden election. How is that going to look? Yeah, he wants to shut down fracking, all this shit. That's going to happen right away. It's not going to happen right away. Everybody's freaking out. Man, he's going to shut the oil field down. Yeah, he's probably going to do that. But he says Biden, what he wants to phase out fracking. He wants to phase out natural gas and oil. And a lot of people on the right took it as he's going to do it right away. That's not what Biden was talking about. He wants to move away from oil and gas and go to a green deal, right? And it's not going to happen in 5 years, 10 years, probably not even 50 years. The technology hasn't caught it. Our solar panels are not efficient enough to catch up to that, to catch up to the power of natural gas and oil and fracking and all this stuff. So that being said, Biden wants to get rid of this stuff in phases, okay? But here's the deal. Biden's not going to make it long enough to get rid of this stuff in phases. He's not going to be president. I give him a year and a half tops before Kamala Harris steps in. And then think about what Kamala Harris has to do. Nancy Pelosi has already put in place that amendment that can remove any president that's not fit for duty, right? Why do you think that's in place? Kamala Harris is going to be president. And guess what? Once she hits president, she's going to elect a vice president. And just imagine who that might be. There's two options on the table, in my opinion. I'm gonna let you. I'll give you my other one.
The third in line would be Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy's third in line, but she won't be a VP.
Nancy will.
I don't see Nancy being a vice president.
She'll try to take over.
Nancy has enough power where she is right now. She's seated. She's old. That bitch where I think she's fine where she is. I think if anybody's going to get elected VP, it's going to be either A, Michelle Obama, or B, AOC. I think that's going to be the deal right there. AOC has already been nominated head of the Green New Deal, and she's going to be on that committee. Michelle Obama has been dirty little claws in everything that's been going on politically for the last 4 years. Her and Obama. They can't just let it go. They can't leave it alone. I'm thinking she's going to be so you have Kamala Harris, either AOC or Michelle Obama, and then Nancy get down nasty Pelosi. And that's what's going to be running this country for the next 4 years. That's the way I see it right there. And it's a dirty outlook, and it's a gloom outlook.
Oh, I know.
I see it. And I hate to even think that.
I see that a lot of people in our chat are talking as far as what's happening, and I want to talk to the people in the chat for just a second, James. I want to talk to the people that are listening to our show right now. I want to know what you, as a person, as a group, as a family, as a unity in this United States of America, what are we prepared to do in this post-election, in the essence of what might transpire? Because there's a lot of stuff that's going to hit us, James. There's a lot of stuff that's coming down the road, and I don't think we're going to like it.
No,
and it's just
nobody's going to like it.
Wondering, I'm just wondering, are we prepared? Are you really prepared with a bug out bag in case something hits the fan? Are we prepared to sit there and watch our Second Amendment get trampled on and thrown in our face and discarded like just a wadded up piece of paper? There's some shit going to hit the fan, James. There's some shit that's going to hit the fan, and it's going to be within the next year.
And here's the thing, Rick, about that. We're going to have to suffer along with idiots that voted for this fool to have the keys to the White House. They're going to get what they deserve, because they voted this dumbass in. All of these dumbasses, you look on that map, we are surrounded by dumbasses. Our country is literally split in half by dumbasses.
Okay,
that's our neighbors.
Exactly. I'm gonna read some of the comments.
They get what they deserve.
I'm gonna read some of the comments that we have. Danielle says, I saw a post yesterday from Snapchat. that the person they were working a poll and threw away at least 100 ballots that were for the Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that doesn't surprise me one bit. Barbie was also agreeing with you there, Rick, about the post office and sending anything in the mail. She says they screw up everything. Don Harris, she says, I mailed bourbon today and still risk it being sent to a state where you're not allowed to send it to. But my friend said he always receives his bourbon. Well, hopefully he'll get it, and hopefully you won't get any backlash from it. Normally what they do in a case like that, they just kind of take it and keep it for themselves normally.
Yep.
And she said, I saw that too. And Barbie, she says, unfortunately, guys, I got news for you. American Idol is also fake as AF with voting. Ask some of them fools who've been on the boards for those shows. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. Danielle said,
and to that right there, let me answer to that right quick, Eddie. So
okay.
yeah, even if it is fake, even if the voting is fake on American Idol, think about the kids and the adolescents that are watching American and see a voting process that they believe is real and happens in one night with so many people. And then they look at the American process, the election process, and see how completely screwed up that is. And now they're looking at, that's their outlook. That's perception is reality. If they believe the American Idol process and then they actually see the election process is all screwed up, think about the implant that's putting in these kids' mind right now. And it probably is fake. I'm sure it is.
And Barbie says, way too much stuff is fake as hell today. The Democratic Party has become so corrupt by social interest in foreign agencies. Yes, it has. And then she also says,
absolutely.
Biden is brain dead, walking dead man. Just ask Hillary. Oh, we all know that. I mean, he's just a puppet.
Yeah.
Commit suicide by Hillary.
Yeah.
I think commit suicide by James' girlfriend, Pelosi. And she goes, kind of.
Jesus, that bitch. Vomit.
Not, they will use up 25th Amendment to get him out. I wouldn't be surprised. I would be surprised if he takes within 6 months. Yeah, they're already going to use that to wipe him out, and I think he knows it.
Mm-hmm.
Keith, man, how you doing, man? Glad he could make it onto the show. Don says,
what's up, Keith?
Don says, anyone who says I'm willing to pay more in taxes makes me sick. Okay, you pay all the taxes you want, but I want to keep my tax cuts from Trump. Me too. I agree with you 1,010% there, Don. I mean, look at it like this. If they increase the taxes the way they're talking about, nobody will be able to afford a home. If you're already paying $7,000 in taxes for your house and Biden raises his tax, and it's going to hit everybody, you're looking at another $8,000 to on top of what you're already paying.
Mm-hmm.
So like with me, I'm paying $7,000 taxes for my house. I get hit with another $8,000. You know, that's what, $15,000 that I'm going to be paying.
That's ridiculous.
A year just on the tax for the house. There's just no way.
Mm-hmm.
And Political Analytical says, question, who is going to escort Donald Trump out of the White House, especially when Democrats don't support the police or the military? Who will escort him out? Will it be Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Adam Schiff, or perhaps Spartacus himself? That's a good question. and if I had to guess, I don't think
he's gonna allow anybody to escort him out.
Yeah, if I had to guess, that was a
guys Tom. Yeah. Thank you, Tom. Guys, we just had one of the most horrendous cyclones ever hit in Guatemala, in South America, and down that way. You know, for a week, 2 weeks, they sat there and told those people, this is what's going to happen. I want you to prepare. I want you to be ready for one of the most Category 4, Category 5 cyclones that's ever hit this land. We, as the American people, just got hit by a Category 5 cyclone last night.
Wow.
Now, what do we do? Now, what do we do? And this is what I'm asking is, what do we do as the American people that's been blown away by the corruption and by the duplicity of who these people really are.
Absolutely. I'm going to read this last comment over here. Actually, there's two that I'm going to read. Don says she sells homeowners in Kentucky for 800 to 2,000 a year, and so she sells policies all day. So there you go, a little plug for you there, Don. And
There you go.
That'd be badass.
anybody need anything, get a hold of Don. All right, and
There we go.
send her a message. And Barbie says the problem with taken from the rich pay for the poor is to take away the incentive for people to be more successful and strive to do better or be better financially. And Wayne Linton, he's my neighbor, great guy, lives right behind me. He's another horseman and cowman and cowboy and all of that. Also was in the Army as well. Thank you for your service also, Wayne, on while we got you live over here. Yeah, it's going to be going crazy. And then the last comment I'm going to read before we go on quick break is Danielle. She says, we get out, spread the word, hopefully change the minds, and vote the next go around. And that's if anything's left to vote for. By then, they're going to have everything so wrapped up and tied up, we probably won't be able, we won't have anything left. So let's just hope that's not the case. But anyway, we're going to take a quick break, everybody. Hold on to your horses. We should return here shortly. We're going to play a tune. And we'll talk to you all here in just a moment.
Get her done, James.
All right, everybody, we're back. I don't think I could have handled much more of that. I was passing out. I love Celtic music, but yeah, that was really putting me to sleep, and I needed to be mellowed out a little bit, I have to say. But yeah, so real quick before we continue onward, I think we're still waiting for James to come back. But if anybody knows anybody who's got any music that they wouldn't mind us playing on here, royalty free, have them send it my way, because I'm kind of like running out of stuff that's royalty free over here to play. And so as you can tell, I'm like scraping way down at the bottom of the barrel. Don't get me wrong, I love Celtic music, but yeah. So let's continue onward, gentlemen. Oh, one moment. Hold on. I'm sorry, Rick. Give me just a second here. There we go.
There we go.
So we are back.
Guys, I read some of the stuff that I was on my phone, and everybody getting a hold of me of everything that while we were on the break. And I'm just going to say it. There's a disheartening in the midland of America right now, from Texas all the way up to the Canadian border, and all cities and places in between. Because just like I said earlier, James and Eddie, that we've had our own election, our own United States of America political system slammed in our face, pushed by an agenda that started clear back in 2016. And it's sad. It's sad because I wanted so much to believe in that system. I wanted so much to sit there and say, yes, this is why I've done what I've done. I've taken the time out to be a part of this show. I've taken the time out to talk to people. I've taken the time out to actually give a damn about a country right now that doesn't give a damn about me.
I agree, Rick. Real quick, Tom was talking to us over here, and he asked this question earlier, and he wants us to go into a little bit, and I think we really need to. Question is, who is going to escort Donald Trump out of the White House, especially when Democrats don't support the police or the military? Who will escort him out? And will it be Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Adam Schiff, or perhaps Spartacus himself? So let's get into this a little bit. Do you think Trump will leave on his own accord if he thinks that this whole thing's bogus, or do you think they're going to try and force him out?
I don't think they're going to force him out. He said he'll concede and he'll leave if it's a fair trial, if it's a fair election, right? If and it won't, but it would happen to come down to that, Tom. What'll happen is not Nancy, but Joe Biden and Kamala Harris will do that, because that's the oath they take to protect their president, and by all means, that's what they would do. It won't come down to military. It'll just be their Secret Service. But I don't get dumpster fire that bad. It's not going to go down without a fight. He will not go down without a fight. We shouldn't. None of us should. And it's going to be a fight. And the fight started today when they started suing the states and everything else. And they started to really question the entire election and the ballots. And that fight started today. And it's going to be ugly. And it's not going to be an overnight thing. You're not going to get a result of who's president here next couple of days. I don't see that happening. It's going to take a week or so. That's the way I see it. But yeah, if it does come down to it, he'll be removed, and it'll be Secret Service to do it.
Well, Gene said it'd probably be the FBI, and I think the FBI may be involved in it. And I'm going to tell you why, because the FBI, for the most part, there's a lot of corrupt bastards in there. And
yes, there is.
So I think they're going to.
Yes,
I think they would jump at the chance to do that and to get their, to get their face in the spotlight. And Sonia said that he'll end up going to jail. And yes, he will. I mean, that's the bad part about it. And it really doesn't matter, what we think as a people. You know, if he gives them a hard time as far as backing out of the White House, yeah, he'll end up paying the price when these other idiots that are all this other shit that's corrupt aren't going to get crap, you know. But somebody who's trying to do good, of course, is going to end up going to jail.
Well, we got a situation now, guys, that has been propagated since 2016, because you had Hillary sitting right there on national TV, exonerating the people that sat there and would vote for Trump, saying, hey, she was telling her own people, do not concede this election under any circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, they took that to heart. And the people that are sitting there wondering why we are questioning the validity of the election itself right now, we're going to do the same thing. I would expect it. I would want it. I want to know what happened to my vote. I want to know what happened to the Electoral College. I want to know what happened to our honored political system.
Yeah, I do.
Think about this right here. This two phrase saying right here is something to think about. So, no evidence, impeachment. All kinds of evidence, presidential candidate. Think about that. You have no evidence on Trump. He gets impeached over a phone call. You have all kind of evidence on Biden and he gets the keys to the White House. Where are we at as a country? Right there. What does that tell you?
Exactly.
Who's running shit? Who's doing this? What are these people? What are they up to? What are they doing? You know? And then, I mean, dude, if you look over the map, everything red. I mean, we have, and they said a red wave, you know, in the numbers of 264 to 214 right now, that's not a red wave. But if you look over that map and all these, you see a red wave on that right there. You see what the majority wants. But, you know, they're going to steal action. That's what they're doing right now. And you're watching it in plain daylight. They're stealing it in plain sight. That's what they're doing.
What's the latest news that they have going on right now, James?
Looking at 264 to 214 on the electoral votes right now.
Changed.
Nothing's changed as far as Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona. Nevada's still leaning blue, but they're and Arizona's going to flip to Donald Trump, even though they've already kind of semi-called it. But yeah, I have all the stats and numbers right here in front of me right now. Alaska is still 50% reporting because they only found like 8 out of 12 people in Alaska. It's a big place. They have to look around. Nevada, 75% reporting in Nevada. Arizona is 86%. So we're supposed to be in looks like at about 9. We're probably going to find out what Arizona and Nevada is going to do. But right now there's lawsuits going on in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, I think, and Minnesota.
Michigan.
Don't question that.
Minnesota or Michigan?
Michigan, is it? Okay. I don't want to lie to you. I think it was Minnesota, but
okay.
As far as Minnesota, 99% is reported into Minnesota, and same thing in Michigan.
99% is reported in?
Yeah, both Michigan and Minnesota.
You have Mr. Brett Baier, Fox News Decision Desk, can now say on the projective side that Biden will win the state of Michigan.
Brett Baier, remember, is the number 8 out of one being the least trusted news anchor in America.
Mm-hmm.
Out of 20, he's number 8. Brett Baier.
Yep.
So I don't trust a thing that guy says. And now my thing is here now, Fox News credibility to me is out the window. And they're fixing to start an investigation on Fox News from last night. The shit show that we went through last night between Fox and AP, CNN.
Oh my!
Y'all don't know, but I had about 5 different tabs open on my secondary screen. I had about 5 different tabs open, and I was comparing everything. Fox was the only one that was calling states ahead of time, They were calling the electoral way ahead of time. I mean, they had them way, yeah. It was really a shit show with Fox. So Fox is the investigator right now. Another part about Fox is they have a lot of guys that are never Trumpers that work in Fox. That guy Juan hates Trump with a passion. These folks sit on a panel, and they're the one at the decision desk, they call it, and they decide what not legally, but they decide on their network state. Well, that's influencing an election. You know, if people are still standing in the polls and standing in line to go vote, and they're watching Fox on their or they're listening, or their friends are watching, and they text in and say, "Hey, you know what? You're in Indiana and or in California, and so far they say so and so election. So why are you even in line?" Then the people leave line
that
and they don't vote.
Turn around and leave right there, because they're gonna be like, "Well, what the hell am I doing here then? I mean, what, my vote doesn't really matter, does it?"
Mm-hmm.
And that's
What's the point of me being here, wasting my time?
Yeah, it's
and that's a shame, guys.
That feeling
because
to vote
right now, as we speak, guys, right now, we have evidence, we have proof, we have receipts, we have logs, we have phone calls, we have, well, name it. They've got evidence that Joe Biden has his head stuck up China's ass so far that he's shitting fucking fortune cookies, that we can't do anything about it, though.
Well, the problem here's what we have. Here's the problem. So he is connected with China financially. He's connected with Ukraine. He's connected with foreign entities that they own him. So how is a sitting president supposed to obtain a security clearance? Because these presidents have to get a security. There's a basic security clearance that you have to obtain. If you are owned and on China's payroll, how do you maintain a security clearance? If if you go work for the FBI, you know how much they interrogate you as a person, and then they interrogate your family. They interrogate everybody.
They looked at Brett Kavanaugh's goddamn yearbook.
Yeah, James,
when they were vetting him.
Okay,
say again.
How hard is it to get our clearances,
dude? They investigate everything. Right. Everything you do. I had a friend of mine. He was an intelligence officer.
Right.
Just as an intelligence officer, investigated his whole family.
But let's say you were going to be running for president. You know what they do as far as trying to get our own clearances when we're in the military, right? So if you're running for president, and let's say you're doing business with the Chinese or Ukraine or Russia or whoever, how hard do you think it would be to get that clearance?
Okay, so not only if you're doing business with them, but you're doing business with them as a sitting vice president. You're not just a civilian at this point. You're a sitting fucking vice president.
Exactly. But what
you won't be able to get, you won't.
No, but what I'm saying is, if you are going to be elected as president, you're going to have a clearance. You're going to have a background done. How hard do you think it's going to be to get that clearance after all this stuff has come out on the computer from hell?
Exactly.
It'll be impossible. It'll be impossible.
Right.
They won't even do if they're so the way they.
He cannot effectively do his job.
If there is even, they don't have evidence of corruption in your life. If they have a suspicion that you were involved in shady dealings and shit like that, they will not give you a clearance. They won't do it. They won't do it. And I think
James,
I don't
James, as much as I agree with you and Eddie both as far as what the clearances have to be, and we have more astute people than all of us put together that have figured this out. We have more astute people that sit there and have taken these numbers and everything that they can, and they've crashed it, and they've sat there and manipulated it way before this election even started. And that's what's scary, is that we have to entrust our families We have to entrust our future with these kind of people that do not give the validity of what we are as far as a political family. They don't give us validity because why? They sit in higher places than we could even think and imagine. And that's what's scary.
And
But
over
the
here
deal
we have
is, I mean, you
Joe Biden,
go ahead,
Joe
Eddie.
Biden, the face of the Trojan horse, nothing more, nothing less. Yeah.
I believe that.
Absolutely.
Once he gets in,
Hey, real quick, Eddie. Yeah, no, I agree, Eddie. But real quick, Gordon, I think we ought to go over that question Gordon had earlier. Since Gordon had to run out, he had some underwear shopping to do because of the shits last night. But Gordon had a question.
he was your secrets. He had some I get some lingerie he wanted to try on and wear for some kind of a
Yeah.
going on.
Well, I mean, the ones he had on were edible, so they kind of dissolved whenever he did his thing. But Gordon had
he had them for lunch.
They were made with biscuits and gravy. You know what happened.
Yeah. I ate 3 pair on the way over here.
Gotta love
flavor. Oh yeah, we got to fuck with Gordon. He'd kill us right now. So Gordon's son had this thing in school, essay, or I think it was a debate that they had in school, and the question that his son had was, will the election put an end to the divide in the States of America? That was the question. Eddie, me and you listened to the answer. I didn't get a chance to write that down, but son's answer was pretty spot on to what we, you can tell he's being raised right. Gordon's influencing him in a big way.
Yeah.
And his answer was.
He did email me what his son wrote.
Nice.
I think right now is a good time to go over it. Okay, now you got to remember, everybody,
Yes,
this is coming from Gordon's son. He wrote this for school.
How old is he?
I think
14,
15 years old.
About 15, something like that.
Okay, here we go. Americans putting an end to unrest, political divide will only continue to grow regardless of who is going to win the election. The leftist whiny babies are going to continue to do whatever they can to create havoc in the United States because Trump won. The people who voted for Biden are going to cry fraud over the outcome of his wins. His political divide was created by the Democrats and perpetrated and will continue to be perpetrated by the mass media. The cover-ups of Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, and now with people seeking justice for crimes that were committed by this family and the Clintons, this divide can only get worse. People will not let this divide heal until the Democrats stop using the race card as a be-all, end-all card. Let the people heal. Let America heal. Stop the crap. I think that was
very well said.
Very well. Gordon, you did a great job raising a fine young man, I have to say.
Damn right. Hell yeah.
And it's sad when you think about it that a 14, 15-year-old student can write something like that, so heartfelt and meaning it, when we've got idiots out there with Molotov cocktails burning people's businesses to the ground because they're idiots. Every one of these BLM and Antifa bastards and all these other little fucktards need to have their asses beat and handed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sick and tired of that crap. And if this shit gets out of hand, I think they're going to have their asses handed to them. Just wait.
I have a quote here that I very much agree with too. It says, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. I want you to hear that word extinction loud and clear. We didn't pass it.
That's right.
To our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. And I'm glad to hear that young man say what he said, Eddie. I think he has been raised right. And
That's a
by the way,
proud American.
that was said. That was a quote from Mr. Ronald Reagan a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're in the middle of a battle that's just now starting to save what we have as far as America.
We have another one in here. It says, I wonder what Antifa and Black Lives Matter will do with or when all the calm and there's no shit to steal or burn down or beat up or kill. Who knows? They're going to be out doing crap anyway. Danielle says, I agree, Eddie, but currently they're being allowed to act like Neanderthals until a stop is put to it all. Divide we will be. Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, it has been an hour. It is time. It went by so quick.
That went fast. Yes.
So,
dude, last night was the same way. It was quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. James, do your final thoughts, man.
Hey, so I've said it every show, I've been on here. I say get out and vote. We've done that. We've got out, we've done our part. So don't let this post-election thing beat you up in the head. Don't sit back and say, man, I'm so worried about what's going to happen, what's going to do this, whoever's going to end up president is going to end up president. Okay. Do not beat yourself up over that. If you went out and voted, you have done your part. If you've went out and talked to somebody or two or three, you've done more than your part. You've done above and beyond than what you were expected to do, because as a citizen, you're expected to vote. It's your right and it's your obligation. But if you also had to convert a few people, you've done more. You've done above and beyond. All right. And I think all of us here have probably done that. Okay. So don't beat yourself up over it. Whatever happens is going to happen. Just have to deal with the outcome of it. And then we're going to come out. We're going to be okay. But just hang in there. This thing ain't over. They're fighting right now. This is going to be a long, lengthy little, and let them do what they do best. Rudy Giuliani's up there, and that's Trump's personal lawyer. And he also has a team of people. So just keep the faith, man. Just hang in there. Just don't let it eat you too much. All right. Don't lose any sleep over it, but keep your eyes open.
Amen. Rick?
I have to second that, James. Thank you for what you said. I really have to agree with that. I also have to say that be that proud American for what you are. Be that proud American for what you stand for. Be that American who will not let whatever happens in this election get you down. Or, I mean, I have people and I've seen people that sit there, and I'm going to tell you, there's anxiety, there's fear, there's depression. It's going on over this election. And just like James and Eddie talked about, we are a proud people, and we will continue to be a proud people. No matter what happens in this election, I believe in you just as much as you believe in us. And we're going to keep it that way. And we're going to sit there and walk high, our heads held high, because we are the American people.
Amen, Rick. I couldn't have said that better. That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
And I have to agree with both of you. We did our part. We got out there and voted. If you brought people, you did more than your part, like James said. That's all we can do. Now all we can do is talk about it and let them fight it out. They're the ones with the money and the big lawyers and the big guns, and hopefully Trump will still come out ahead. We still have a fighting chance. So fingers crossed that, they're going to find the corruption that was done and be able to put a stop to it and come out on top. And I have to agree with Danielle when she made a post. She said, if Biden wins, don't say not my president. That's being disrespectful, and we need to be above that, regardless. I like the guy, but respect the position, and that's the only thing we can do. And we just have to keep moving forward and take care of each other. Remember, we're all brothers and sisters. We're all proud Americans, and we love each and every one of you. And we thank you all for being with us each and every time that we go live. And we appreciate the shares that you give us and everything else. Thank you so much for that. And I have to say, I was proud and honored to be in this fight with you guys through this whole thing.
Yes.
And it's just been an honor and a privilege, and I appreciate it very much, all of you. Also, real quick, we're going to probably go back to just Sunday nights on Political Analytical. However, if there is breaking news or something big comes up, we will be going live at whenever that happens to jump out there and talk about it. So I'll grab my guys together and we'll jump on here and we'll have a conversation. So make sure that you choose to be notified anytime we're live so that you can jump on with us whenever we do. But Sundays at 8 p.m. still. If anything else comes up during the week, we will be going live. However, it's not going to be set in stone on Wednesdays now. So it could be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Well, Sundays for sure. But so we're going to be looking forward to keeping an eye on things and jumping out here with you guys. Anyway, take care, everybody. We love you. Be safe. Be strong. Say a prayer that everything happens that's supposed to happen, and that America can continue to be the great America that we've always known. Take care, everybody. Love you guys.
Good night, guys. Thank you.